Here we have a wonderful Chagall painting from the mid-1920s. Chagall had a very turbulent life in the teens. I mean, he'd been in Paris in 1913, 1914, and much influenced by all the modern movements that were taking place. And he'd painted a lot of wonderfully expressive pictures. Unfortunately, owing to the First World War, the Russian Revolution, he traveled back into Russia, he then came out of Russia, he lost a lot of his work. And so when he eventually got to Paris in the early 1920s, having been in Berlin, in Moscow, in Petersburg, and so he began to revisit where he had been in Paris 10 or 12 years earlier. And this is a reworking of an earlier picture that he did completely lost. And in a sense, it's got a lyricism and a maturity that were perhaps lacking in the earlier works. And what we see are these wonderful acrobats. And he'd seen those traveling troupes in his village of Vitebsk when he was a child, and he'd been attracted to the circus when he was in Paris in the 1913, 1914. And so the acrobat and the player and the clown were a constant motif and theme in his work. And here we see it really writ large. But what I find fascinating about this picture is that we're no longer in the circus, we're almost on a stage. One of the figures on the right is holding a fan, but there's a lovely little creature perched on her shoulder. And so what we've got is more of a theatre than an acrobats, and it's really all the theatricality and love and joy of life that Chagall brings to this picture. Often Chagall went for blues and yellows and greens, but here we have more sophisticated and purples and oranges and other colours are coming through. And also remember, this is a big painting. We're over 4 feet high on this painting, so it really is very powerful. This is really the high point of his work, where he's really bringing together all his experiences and all his sensibilities. This really is, in many ways, the flower of his work. It's a wonderful, wonderful painting.